15 prohibitions and crazy things only exist in Canada. Prohibiting ice cream, banning t-shirts, or even prohibiting children from riding bicycles are among the many incomprehensible regulations in the country of Canada. Alongside its stunning natural beauty and diverse multicultural communities, Canada surprises many with its peculiar rules. In today's video, I will show you 15 prohibitions and crazy things in Canada that you won't believe actually exist. Number 15. Prohibition of eating ice cream on Sundays. I don't know what the Canadian government has against the taste of ice cream, but they have indeed banned people from eating ice cream on weekends. This is a rather strange rule in the capital, Ottawa. According to this law, you can enjoy ice cream on any day of the week, but you have to be careful if you decide to indulge during the weekend. Specifically, the Ottawa government does not allow people to eat ice cream on Sundays, the only day they have time to stroll and snack. Authorities argue that people eating ice cream while walking gives a bad image to the city, and melted ice cream on sidewalks would require additional cleanup efforts. Additionally, the prohibition of ice cream consumption on one day is also for the community's health, as ice cream is high in sugar and harmful fats. However, citizens find this regulation absurd, as they are too busy during the week and have little time for strolls or ice cream. Many have protested, but to date, this rule continues to result in fines, especially for foreigners unaware of the city's laws. Number 14. Prohibition of driving while wearing a t-shirt. In Canada, there's a peculiar place where, even in the middle of summer, you won't find a single driver wearing a t-shirt. No matter how hot or uncomfortable it is, even if you request it, they won't dare to wear one because it is prohibited. Specifically, in the city of Halifax, Nova Scotia, taxi drivers are not allowed to wear short-sleeved, collarless shirts. Article 24 in the Halifax Regional Municipality's regulations for taxis and limousines states drivers must always dress neatly and tidily. They must wear a dress shirt or military-style shirt with a collar and sleeves, neatly folded pants, wear shoes and socks, and absolutely not wear t-shirts. This regulation indeed makes many drivers unhappy, as having to wear overly formal attire all day while sitting in the car makes them uncomfortable. However, on the flip side, it leaves a positive impression on tourists about the people in Canada, at least with a favorable view towards taxis in the country. Number 13. Prohibition of public profanity. If you happen to swear in the middle of the street in Canada, congratulations, the police will come to talk to you right away. Quite absurd, isn't it, just for swearing? Even if it's just profanity, you can't get away with it. Someone will immediately come to remind you because public profanity in Canada is entirely prohibited. If you want to swear, do it at home, where you can say anything. Moreover, mimicking the local accent can also get you into trouble. This makes citizens of the Maple Leaf Country feel extremely uncomfortable during conversations. Canada is a bilingual country, so their speech and intonation have distinct characteristics. Even English British and English American are different from Canadian English. Imitating Canadian speech is considered extremely impolite and disrespectful. The person you are talking to might immediately want to end the conversation. They will give a straightforward refusal that makes you feel uncomfortable. However, you must understand that the source of this is your lack of respect. Number 12. No pointing and staring at strangers. Sometimes you can use your index finger to point at an object. However, be careful not to do it all the time and definitely avoid pointing and staring at people. This is considered rude and a form of mockery. In Canada, behaving like this can get you into big trouble, as locals, despite being friendly, can get easily angered if they feel offended. If done gently, they may just show discomfort and avoid talking to you. However, if you make them feel worse, swearing or even physical altercations may occur. Additionally, while in some countries, making a peace sign with the index and middle finger is considered a gesture of peace, it is not the case in Canada. Making this sign can offend people, so remember this even when posing for photos. If worn by locals or the police, show a receptive attitude rather than arguing with them, as it could lead to unpleasant consequences for you. Number 11. Tip at least 15%. You might have a habit of leaving a restaurant without tipping or tipping very little after receiving the bill, especially if you're used to living in Singapore. However, during your time in Canada, remember that it's crucial to tip the server at least 15% of the bill. Not tipping or tipping below this amount is considered extremely rude and will be noticed immediately. If you don't want to receive angry looks from those around you, it's better to tip more than 15%. In addition to restaurant staff, other professions requiring tips include taxi drivers, doorkeepers, pizza delivery drivers, hairdressers, and more. All of them hope to receive more tips to support their livelihood. However, the 15% tipping rule makes tourists feel uncomfortable. Despite the relatively poor service, customers still have to tip as if they were being forced. I want to emphasize that when you are genuinely uncomfortable with the service, giving more than 15% of the bill will undoubtedly make you furious. However, try to stay calm because arguing with them will only lead to your disadvantage. Number 10. Prohibition on pet. In the city of Fredericton, New Brunswick province, you would be breaking the law if you bring a snake, python, or any reptile kept as a pet on your shoulder in a public place. This is considered a dangerous activity. Even if you post a photo with snakes or pythons on your shoulder, the police will come to visit you. Additionally, keeping a hamster as a pet can be extremely challenging in this country. In Canada, keeping exotic pets, especially rodents, is a complicated issue that depends on the regulations and laws of specific regions. In many cases, having exotic rodents requires more than just a permit. It also involves compliance with rules related to their care and treatment. Exotic rodent species can be considered potentially dangerous animals, and keeping them may require permits and strict supervision. This is particularly applicable in cases where these exotic rodents could become invasive species or pose a threat to public health. If you plan to bring pets like snakes or rodents when coming to this country, it's essential to thoroughly research the regulations of the government in each specific region. Number 9. Prohibition of political and religious discussion. While politics and religion can make for interesting conversation topics, these are two subjects that are banned in Canada. For starters, Canadians consider politics a very private matter. With different views on government principles and programs such as taxes, gun ownership, drug legalization, openly sharing strong opinions on such topics is seen as argumentative, something Canadians view as lacking diplomacy. Religious views are also rarely discussed openly in Canada due to the diverse range of beliefs and perspectives on life and society. Canadians often refrain from publicly identifying themselves with any particular faith. Attempting to explain your religious beliefs in any context is considered uncomfortable and presumptuous. Canadians believe in living by their own beliefs and refraining from discussing the beliefs of others in the country. Number 8. Prohibition of criticizing things made from maple. Believe it or not, Canadians pour maple syrup onto snow, roll it up, and eat it like a snack, or use maple to make liquor that they proudly consume. The truth is, the products made from maple in Canada might not taste as fantastic as advertised. However, criticizing them while in the country is not allowed because the maple leaf is a symbol of the nation. The maple leaf has been a distinctive symbol of Canada since the 18th century, when French and English Canadians used it to create emblems and crests. The red maple leaf is often used to represent Canada because it is a common and robust tree in the region, especially during autumn when the maple leaves turn vibrant red, creating a spectacular natural landscape. Using the red maple leaf in Canada's national symbols also signifies respect for the country's nature, culture, and traditions. However, the excessive reverence shown by locals and the Canadian government can make tourists uncomfortable. Number 7. Ice harvesting. Who would have thought you could harvest a block of ice? Well, in Canada, it is a significant activity in the country's agriculture and economy. Every spring, giant ice blocks float from Greenland to Newfoundland, where they are harvested. The harvested ice blocks are used in domestically produced items such as wine, vodka, beer, and skincare products. The water used in environmentally friendly products is believed to be good for the skin and Eccentric is the largest company using these natural resources. Organizations and government agencies often monitor this process to ensure it is done sustainably and does not harm the environment. Number 6. Experiencing 4 seasons in 24 hours. If you visit Canada, you should always carry appropriate clothing because the weather can change from summer to winter or vice versa within an hour. It may sound insane, but it is entirely true. Only in Canada can the temperature rise from 19 degrees to 22 degrees in 1 hour. This actually happened in 1962 in Alberta. While such extreme phenomena don't happen frequently nowadays, temperature fluctuations from day to day are not unusual. Especially during the transition from winter to spring, there will be days when you can wear shorts outside, and the next day snow will fall. The unpredictable weather will always keep you on edge because you will never truly know what the weather will be like when you wake up each morning. Number 5. Wearing shorts and t-shirts at any temperature. 0 degrees Celsius may still be a temperature that makes many people shiver, but when the temperature rises to 0 degrees C, Canadians will wear shorts and t-shirts. A Canadian once said, "We have so many winter months that we get excited when the weather is not in the negatives." As winter comes to an end, outdoor spaces will be packed with people, even if there is still some snow on the ground. While other countries with milder climates throughout the year might wear sweaters in this kind of weather, Canadians will be sunbathing in their bikinis as soon as spring arrives. Canadians have a high tolerance for the cold, a result of their living environment and culture, where a cold climate is an integral part of daily life. However, not all Canadians can tolerate the cold equally. The level of cold tolerance can vary depending on health, age, and other personal factors. Nevertheless, most of them appear immune to the cold. Even a child can endure freezing temperatures much better than you might think. Number 4. Must praise the sport of ice hockey. The whole world acknowledges that the sport of ice hockey is a violent and extremely dangerous game. However, you are never allowed to say this in Canada. Speaking ill of ice hockey is a foolish act when facing Canadians. Canadians feel extremely displeased when foreigners say negative things about ice hockey. Ice hockey is the national sport in this country. The achievements of the national teams are a source of pride and honor for the Canadian people. Even if the national team's performance on the international stage is not outstanding, Canadians remain enthusiastic when discussing this sport. Your negative comments about ice hockey will make Canadians sad and disappointed. If you put yourself in that situation, you will surely feel extremely uncomfortable. When you hear anyone speak negatively about the national football scene, your first feeling is discomfort, feeling as if being humiliated. Therefore, shower praises on Canada's national sport. When talking about this topic, your compliments are sure to make Canadians very happy and eager to talk to you more. Number 3. The Swallowing Lake. There is a place in Canada that challenges the bravest divers, a place that will make you feel terrified as soon as you plunge into its waters. That place is Lake Erie. This lake is one of the busiest inland waterways in the world. However, due to witnessing many disasters, Lake Erie is also likened to a graveyard in the Great Lakes region. Although it is the second smallest in the Great Lakes system, 5 large lakes comprising nearly 20% of the world's surface freshwater. According to estimates by some archaeologists and historians, the number of sunken ships in Lake Erie could be up to 2,500. To date, researchers have only found 277 sunken shipwrecks. However, this list is continuously supplemented as underwater explorers conduct searches from both sides of the U.S.-Canada border. Lake Erie has an almost greater shipwreck density than anywhere else in the world, even the Bermuda Triangle. Experts believe that sudden storms and unpredictable wave changes could be the main reasons for the high number of shipwrecks in Lake Erie. This lake was also an important battleground in the war between the US and Britain in 1812. According to experts, some sunken ships lying scattered at the bottom of the lake may be warships sunk during this conflict. However, to this day, no ship from this period has been salvaged. Very few people dare to dive down to the bottom of the lake to explore what mysteries it holds, as strange incidents always occur, and many have lost their lives at this location. Number 2. Buying milk in bags. We often see milk sold in bottles, cartons, or at its strangest in cans, but in Canada they package fresh milk in a way that might seem more confusing bags. In many places in Canada, milk is packaged in bags rather than cans or cartons. To use it, you only need to cut a corner of the bag and pour it into a glass to enjoy. Milk bags take up less space than bottles and cartons. This helps save space in the refrigerator and during transportation, especially in urban areas with limited space. Additionally, milk bags usually require fewer packaging materials than cartons or plastic bottles, helping reduce waste and environmental impact. The only drawback of packaging milk in bags is that it doesn't look very appealing. Packaging fresh milk in bags is not only strange to us but also to people all over the world. If you have ever visited Ontario, Quebec, or other regions of Canada, don't be surprised to see large milk bag sections in grocery stores. Perhaps you should buy a few milk bags as souvenirs to bring back and give to friends at home. Number 1. Magnificent aurora. Believe me, there is no place on this planet that can show you spectacular images like you are seeing right now, except for the country of Canada. The northern aurora are a natural light phenomenon caused by the interaction of solar radiation with the Earth's atmosphere. When electrons in the atmosphere begin to interact with solar radiation, they emit light. As a result, we get to witness various bright streaks in different color styles. The Canadian Rockies are one of the most famous places in the world to admire the northern aurora. The location boasts expansive skies, few clouds, and freezing temperatures, ideal conditions for tourists to explore this fascinating natural phenomenon. If you have had the chance to see the northern aurora, you will understand why it is so attractive and leaves a strong impression on people. The wonder of it has left its mark on many hearts and become an unforgettable experience. If you are planning a trip and seeking a unique natural experience, visit Canada and witness the northern aurora here. This is sure to be a memorable adventure. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Continue to explore the wonders that exist all over the planet with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue accompanying us in upcoming videos. See you in the next videos.